Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. Hello, everyone. Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Jo-Anne Reynolds. She is the CEO and founder of Sexy AF Spirits, based in Calgary, Alberta. How are you doing today, Jo-Anne?
I'm doing great, Brad. Thanks so much for having me on.
Well, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you agreeing to be a guest and share your story, your journey with us here today.
Absolutely.
How was your weekend, by the way?
Oh, it was great. I did work all weekend, but as you do when you have your own business, so yeah.
Fun. But it's not really work, right? Because it's your business. You enjoy doing it.
Absolutely. And you know what? It does not feel like work at all. And you can carve out some time, to spend time with your kids and do some fun stuff. But the underlying denominator is work for us.
Yes, absolutely. So let's jump right in here, Jo-Anne. You're quite well traveled. You've lived all over the world and are now settled in Calgary and have been for the past 11 years. What made you decide to lay down roots and call Calgary home?
That is right. I have lived around the world, originally from South Africa, and I was living in London for about 6 years. And at that point, the EU was expanding, and there was a whole bunch of stuff going on in the UK, and I could either go back to South Africa or I could come to Canada. And my eldest daughter's dad is from Canada. Mm-hmm. So I'd already been here a few times in the summer and really loved it. So her and I immigrated to Canada 11 years ago and settled down and made our roots here. And this is where I've called home for over a decade.
Excellent. Is there a particular reason you chose Calgary out of all of Canada, or?
That's where my eldest daughter's grandparents live and where her dad is from. Right. So I could get, as a single mom back then, I could get help with childcare and having the grandparents help look after her. So, I could work full time, etc. So it's just having my in-laws and family members and stuff here to just help with the support.
Right. Yeah. Support system is key for sure.
Totally.
So you're the owner or CEO and founder of Sexy AF Spirits. Can you tell us a bit about your venture?
Absolutely. So Sexy AF Spirits they're 100% alcohol-free spirits. Okay. And our branding is super fun. So you may think AF is something else, and we get a lot of shock, horror, surprises, and oh my goodness, like I was today years old when I realized what the AF stands for. So it's really fun from that regard. But all our products are botanically infused. Mm-hmm. All our ingredients are organic, kosher, plant-based. They're flown in from California. Wow. And we're, it's going so well. We have 4 products, and mm-hmm. the play on them are for the actual alcohol spirits. So your triple sexy is like a triple sec, quite orangey. Campari would taste like Campari, and so forth. Our virgin is very juniper forward, coriandery, etc. And same with our Amaro. So mm-hmm. What we would say is treat 1 ounce of Sexy AF spirits as you would 1 ounce of your actual alcohol spirits, whereas you can make it as strong or weaker mocktail as you would like.
Oh, excellent. I absolutely love the name. It's incredibly catchy and definitely memorable for sure. How did you come up with the name for the company?
Well, it was either Sexy AF or Boring AF, and no one wanted to be boring.
No, of course not. Boring is not good. Wouldn't sell very well.
No, but I really am I love the creative side of things, and trying to, you got to stand out from the crowd, and if you're going to make some noise and get into whatever industry, it's best to position yourself well enough that you can market your products accordingly. And we thought, given that I wanted to create fun, sexy, sophisticated, mocktails, and the brand is fun and young and vibrant, coming up with a name for it needed to be really strong and bold in that regard. From our coloring, from our wording, from our trademarks, everything is bold and fun and sexy. So that's how Sexy AF came to fruition.
I love it. Why did you decide to get into the business of alcohol-free spirits?
So over a year and a half ago, I was in California on a girls' trip, and we were at Pebble Beach, and we were going for lunches and dinners and stuff. And a lot of my girlfriends weren't drinking. So for various reasons, one is super religious, one of my girlfriends was pregnant, and I came back to Calgary and I said, you know what? Every time we went out, I said no one was drinking, and I felt like they were socially excluded because they were either drinking water, pop, tea, or coffee. Yeah. And then if the barman did say, I'll make you whatever you want, if they weren't drinking, so they didn't know. They didn't have any options. Yeah. And I said, you know what? It would be so fun if I could create some alcohol-free options for my friends, so then when they go out, they feel socially included. And my husband's like, that's a pretty good idea. You should run with that. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, the fact that you're thinking about them and thinking about, all these choices. And so I did some market research, and lo and behold, there's this whole sober curious movement, and the whole generation is moving away from drinking less due to like health reasons and all these other reasons. And I just think timing was, although I started it a year and a half ago, to get to this point where we are today, definitely, I just think it's a movement, but it's here to stay for sure.
Very cool. Are you a drinker yourself?
So I used to drink quite a bit back in the day, but as I've gotten older, I have a young family, 2 kids. I really don't like the hangovers at all. So I'll have the occasional glass of wine. I do love my wine. Yeah. But for me, it's just, I need to wake up with a clear mind and healthy. And for me, it's like I need to wake up and go to my Pilates class. I don't want to be hungover. No. And as you do get older, and you'll never know my age, it's fun to be drinking or not, but the next day is not fun. So, so I've been drinking a lot more Sexy AF, to be honest.
There you go. That's good. Now, you said you currently offer 4 spirits, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Is there a plan to expand your line of available types of spirits?
We are looking at it at this point because we're so young and growing so fast. I think maybe in the next 18 months to 2 years, there may be a new spirit that we come out with. But at this time, we're just focusing on our 4 that we've created and just ensuring those are the best of the best for our consumers at this time.
Absolutely. Now, where can people find your spirits?
So right now they're available directly on our website at sexyafspirits.com. Okay. And if you're in Calgary, there's a Crowfoot Wine and Spirits offer it. And as and when we grow, more and more options will become available to purchase them directly in retail. We're currently in works with some large stores and vendors, etc. But because of COVID, we had to pivot super fast and literally just throw it up on our website saying you can buy it here because, COVID did not make it easy for us to get into bars and restaurants as quickly as we would have liked to.
Right. Well, hopefully when we come out the other side of this, you're able to go full force with that and get launched in a bunch of different places. That'd be great.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So how long have you been an entrepreneur now?
You know what? It's funny. My husband asked me that the other day. He said, what did you do when you were a teenager? Like, did you work at a grocery store, etc.? And I said, no, actually, I used to bake cakes as a kid and sell them. I used to make jewelry, like beaded jewelry, and I used to give them to my mom, and she had to sell them to her friends. I've always been entrepreneurial. In that regard. And I've always had a little fire in my belly to do something, like create a business and see it flourish. And that's always been a big dream of mine. So,
excellent. What is it that excites you about being an entrepreneur?
I think it's the internal drive. It's the driving force of having the confidence and seeing your ideas come to fruition. So for me, it's all about, you can talk about all these great ideas, but let's put them into action and see what takes, see what
sticks, throw it at the wall and see what sticks, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, what's going to work, what's not. You may think it's a great idea, throw it out into the universe, and the universe says, no, this is not happening today.
Now, as you said, you've had that entrepreneurial bug since you were a kid, so this obviously is not your first attempt at running your own business. What are some of your other ventures that you've gone down the road with? The business before Sexy Spirits is called Spike Bee. Okay. And that was started probably about 8 years ago, and it's still ticking along in the background. Because it's completely web-based. It's a tech company, so it's completely different to running a product-based business. Right.
So for Spike Bee, it's a platform where parents can go to look for camps for their kids. So whether it's summer camps or fall camps, and it's kind of the middleman that marries the business owners offering the camps classes and activities to the parents looking for camps classes and activities based on specific demographics.
Yeah. And
I started that when I moved to Canada, and I couldn't find anything to put my daughter in.
Right.
And I found it so difficult. And eventually I was like, oh no, if I can't find anything, I'm just going to create this platform and this website. And that's one of my other babies I think of is from a business, it's so close to me. That was my first big business.
Yeah.
And that was the one before Sexy AF.
Okay. I love it. You can't find the service you're looking for, so what the hell? I'll just create it.
Exactly. It can't be that hard. Life can't be that difficult.
That's drive. That's for sure. I love it. What would you say is the most exciting part for you about running a spirit company?
I think for me, it's the huge learning curve that is happening each and every single day for me. It's not my background. I never knew much about beverages besides drinking them. So learning about, nutritional labels and all these, all the boxes that need to be ticked and connecting with people from all the different sectors within the beverage industry is just fascinating. And just also how closely knit it is as well when you start speaking to people they know so-and-so or they recommend so-and-so. So it really is exciting to meet different people as well and just to learn from them.
Amazing. What are some of the challenges you faced early on with the business and how did you overcome them?
One of our biggest challenges, lo and behold, was actually trying to source out for example, bottles. As a startup, you want to start small and scale accordingly. And, bottles, for example, I know it sounds silly, but, you go from, you can only order 10,000 at a time to,
wow.
I know. So it's just the scaling of it, starting off some of the challenges is just quantities of stuff that we needed to, if you're testing product out in the market, you don't need to have 10,000 bottles to start.
Yeah.
So it's just sourcing what you need. It was quite time consuming and finding the right products and the right ingredients and it does take time, I think, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that that's not the first thing you think of, sourcing bottles when you're starting a company like that. I mean, there's so many things you have to think of, but I wouldn't think anyways that bottles would be the first thing you'd think about.
No, and it was so difficult.
Wow. Quantity of 10,000, really?
Yeah, like minimum quantities. And then you look on like Alibaba.com and it takes 6 months to ship and the shipping costs more than the bottles. And you're like, I just need some really cool bottles to put my product in. Why is it so hard?
It really shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah, there's bottles everywhere when you go to a grocery store.
That's right. That's right. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful as an entrepreneur?
You know what? I would have to say, that's a tough question. I think being relatable. So I feel like, I can speak to anyone on any level, whether I'm speaking to an executive of a huge, huge company, or I'm dealing with, frontline receptionist, or whether I'm dealing with someone who helps clean our offices, or whatever the case may be. I feel like I treat every single person with the same level of respect, and see them for who they are as, human beings, and to show kindness. And I feel like just being kind, it goes so far, because it doesn't cost anything, and you don't know what other people are going through. And for me, I've always felt, just be kind. At the end of the day, you don't know what battles people are fighting. And, you never know if somewhere down the line you're going to ask their help for something, and then they're going to remember how you treated them, because people always remember how you treat them.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Is there anything you wish you had known when you first started out that you now know?
Not really. You know what? I was going to say not really, because I kind of like a little bit of the unknown. If it was very much like, okay, this is exactly what you do, here's the book on how to, I would be like, oh, okay, it seems pretty straightforward. So I feel like, I guess I would have, because you know what, this pandemic as well, that just threw a wrench in the whole world's processes of how to do business in the first place. So I feel like I'm just, hit the ground running and just go. Better I just know. If I'd known a pandemic was going to happen when we were going to launch, I don't know if I would have.
What would you say is the biggest pain point that you've been dealing with in your business, besides obviously COVID, but before COVID hit, what was the biggest pain point you were dealing with?
You know what? I think it's just timing, like getting things done. I feel like the pain point, everything takes so long. I feel, and I think maybe that's just me personally, because I'm so excited to get everything done like yesterday. Like, let's get to do this right now. And then you wait for responses, and I harp a little bit on COVID, but I feel like everyone's more a bit more relaxed if you're working from home, that I'll get back to you, but not as soon as if you were in the office, because you've got other commitments and there's lots of other things on the go. So I think just the pain point for me is traction, like getting things done and moving things forward is just a little bit slow. So again, that just could be me.
You share a situation with us that's occurred in your life that you feel provides insight as to your character?
I would have to say, it kind of relates going back to, kind of what the superpower was with being kind.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of completes me as a whole with regards to, kind of any situation that I'll find myself in.
Yeah. Okay. How would you describe yourself in one word?
Happy.
Excellent. What makes you smile?
My family makes me smile.
Do you have any guilty pleasures?
Yes. I have so many. I love dark chocolates.
Okay.
I love tiramisu. Dirty pleasures. I love watching like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, all those sort of TV shows. Come on, girls, you know exactly what it is like. Oh my goodness, so many. I love food. Mexican food, pizza, sushi. Those are all my guilty pleasures.
All right.
Absolutely, yeah. I know. Shopping. Oh, there's so many. I love shoes. Don't tell my husband.
There you go.
My husband says, you're not a caterpillar or a centipede. How many feet do you have?
That's hilarious. I like that.
Girls have to have a good pair of shoes. You need to have a good pair of shoes.
Of course. To what extent do you believe that we shape our own destiny, and how much is left up to fate, do you think?
You know what? I believe hard work 24/7 will take you to and will help you get to your destiny along the way. And I do believe a little bit of luck plays into that, but I just feel it boils down to hard work and each and every single day putting in the efforts will get you to your goal, whatever that is and whatever your destiny is at the end of the day. I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and I believe in fate and I believe in karma. But at the end of the day, it just boils down to hard work and putting in the efforts.
Now, you mentioned hard work 24 hours a day, but you've also got to, I mean, and I'm sure you agree, you've also got to have downtime and time where you're able to just relax and not think about work. Because if you're working constantly, I mean, I know that running a business is a lot of work, but if you're working, you're going to burn out and you're going to be no good for your business too, right?
Right, and that's a very valid point. And I felt that that's what happened to me with Sparkbee, is that I did reach burnout, and I had to take some time off just to regroup. And you know, as much as we say work, it's really hard, but it is important to carve out that time. So you know, we worked all weekend, but I made sure I had 30 minutes just to sit in the hot tub, just to listen to some music, or I wake up early and, you know, I'll do a bit of, you know, meditation or stretching. I love doing some yoga as well. But it's really hard to teach, for me, like self-love or
self-care.
Self-care, because you don't get taught that automatically. And when you are head down, grinding, working away, you never put yourself first. And you know, even as a mom, as a parent, you don't. It's always make sure the kids are okay, husband's okay, and then you think about, oh, okay, how am I doing? So very, very true and valid point that you made is that 100% you got to make that time, and it is hard. Because we're hard on ourselves. You're hard on yourself because then you feel guilty if you do take a bit of time. I know I do. I feel like, I love to bake, but then I should be responding to these emails. And then my husband's like, no, the emails can wait. Like he's very grounding. Like, just, you know, make sure that you do take some time for yourself, because you really don't want to be burnt out.
No, and I think that is something that we constantly struggle with and learn to do throughout our lives. I mean, it's not easy, as you said, because you're in the back of your mind, you're always thinking about your business, whether you're baking or you're spending time with the kids or whatever the case. We have to learn to, I guess, kind of shut down to a certain degree from the business so we can enjoy the other things that we're doing as well. Because let's be honest, there is more to life than just work.
Oh, there really is. And, you know, I only am realizing that in the last, you know, since COVID, is just how important, you know, the kids are just growing up, the school year, we had to homeschool. You know, my oldest is going into grade 11, my youngest is going into grade 4, and time just feels like it's flying past us.
Mm-hmm. So, for sure. You have to be able to slow down and smell the flowers, as they say.
You do. Yep. Smell the roses.
That's right. If you were stranded on a deserted island and could only have one item with you, what would it be?
Sunscreen.
That makes sense. That's a good item to have, for sure.
Well, that or sexy spirits, because they are hydrating.
There you go. I love it. What is one of your favorite quotes?
For me, it's one by Ralph Watson Emerson. It's you are what you repeatedly do. That's why excellence is like you need to practice excellence. It doesn't just come to you. Yeah. So that's one that stuck with me for many, many years.
I like it.
Yeah.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
For me, personally, it means being strong, being positive, and taking control of your own life and your own destiny.
Oh, I like that. What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
I think being around my family, first and foremost, that's really at the end of the day what makes me feel inspired and happy, and and just being around them, like learning from them and being around them and seeing their expressions and yeah.
Who are 3 of the most influential people in your life?
I'd have to say my mom, who still lives in South Africa, and I love her to death. She's my best friend. And my husband, and tied third are my 2 girls.
The kids count as one. We can count the kids as one.
Okay, yeah.
What would you say is the best advice you've ever received?
To be your authentic self. So don't try to fit into any mold. Don't try, act like someone else. Look like someone else. Just be yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters, and that's how you're going to stand out, and that's how people are going to appreciate you for you. I think that's so important because, you always want to try, for girls, like look like someone else or have the latest clothing or whatever. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter because your true self always comes through and shines through.
That's right. That's right. If you could sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
I would have to say, and she has passed, is Princess Diana. Oh. Okay. And my reasoning behind that is because, how she grew up and the situation that she found herself in, and with her marriage and her kids and with the firm, and just how she navigated all these different issues and challenges to find happiness in her life. I would just be fascinating just to sit down and have that conversation with her.
Interesting. How do you define success? What does that word mean to you, Jo-Anne?
I define success as, which has changed over the years, of course, would be for me, healthy, happiness, surrounding people with, that you love and they love you back. When you're younger, I think monetary success is the end all be all, but it really isn't. And even going into these businesses, not once do I think about, how much money's going to make me happy. Like not once, because money, statistics show, if you get a raise at work, for example, money only makes you happy for a certain small period of time. And they said, for example, 3 months, you get a pay raise after 3 months, that happiness subsides. And then you're back to like, I'm not happy. I need more, for example. So for me, it's not money at all. It's making sure my husband and my kids are happy and healthy. And, we have a roof over our heads, and just going back to basics in life, because that's what's important. Money comes and goes. And that's what I tell my kids as well. Money, you can make money, lose money, you make money, comes and goes, but it's not the defining factor of success or happiness. And it should never be.
No, I would absolutely 100% agree. What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before learning it? And what was your life like after learning it?
I think, and this just follows on from your previous question, is the money aspect. Yeah. So before growing up, middle-class family in South Africa, had big dreams. I'm going to make lots of money and I want to be so happy. And, I'm going to move to America and I'm going to, make it there. I had all these big dreams of being, and at the end of the day, it's not the money at all. So I learned that, and I learned that fast. And looking back, I'm like, could have done more with my energy than
focused on money.
On money, because it's,
sure.
You have kids and husband and family, and you're like, that's what's happy. That's what makes me happy. That's what you learn about things, and then you hope you can teach your kids that too. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And lastly, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Don't doubt yourself so much.
I love it. That's simple, to the point, and so many people do it. Again, I think this is a lesson that we have to constantly be learning throughout our lives, because it comes up all the time, right?
Well, and that I feel is one of the number one killers of why you can't get your products off, get your projects off the ground, get your businesses going, because you're doubting yourself, or even if you're going to take a course or go back to school. I went back and got my executive MBA, but before I did that, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I'm not school aged anymore. I don't know if you have all the self-doubt.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's not good and it's not healthy. And if you can get past that, just think about all the things that you can achieve in your life.
Exactly. We have to, everybody's done it, I'm sure. We have to learn to get the fuck out of our own way. That's to get out of our own heads, get out of our own way.
Exactly, because it's just all in your head, and you overthink things, and you create these big issues that aren't even there at the end of the day. It's just your mind fucking with you, being and it's not that. You got to clear your mind, make sure your cup is empty so you can fill it up with happiness and kindness and positivity, and that's how life should be.
Yeah, you're right. We throw these walls up for ourselves, and it's terrible the amount of people that get defeated by themselves. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a hard lesson to learn, though.
Oh, it really is. And it's just, if you can learn that sooner in life later, and just, you're your own worst critic. So
That's right.
Oh.
I agree. Well, Jo-Anne, thank you so much for spending the time with us today and sharing a bit about your story, your journey, and Sexy AF Spirits. Has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. And I would love to have you back on the show, maybe later on down the road when you release some more spirits, and we could talk about how the business is doing, bring you back for that.
Oh, I would love to, Brad. Thank you so much for having me today. It was so much fun. I feel like we covered so many topics in our short little time together. And would love to come back and chat about new products and other things on the go. So
yes, we'll have to make that happen for sure. I look forward to that. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest has been Jo-Anne Reynolds. She is the CEO and founder of Sexy AF Spirits. Thanks again, Jo-Anne. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks so much, Brad. Take care.
Take care. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.